Good start?
Yes.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Brian Fennessy, and I'm privileged and honored to be the fire chief here in Orange County for the Orange County Fire Authority. And I want to welcome you to this year's Wildfire Preparedness Week, and welcome to Irvine Lake. I got here, I don't know, about 15-20 minutes ago, and was just stunned at all of the equipment and all the people here, and it caused me to reflect on why we're here. Not only to discuss and talk about the fuel conditions and the upcoming fire season and whatnot, but the relationships. It's great to see so many friends here. All the interagency relationships that we have, that's what really makes the system work. And to be out here and see it so green, that's kind of nice too. This time of year, we're not normally seeing our hillsides and the vegetation as green as it is. I was discussing just last week with one of my board directors, and they were commenting about, boy, this is going to be great. The hillsides are so green. We're going to have a very mild fire season this year. And I had to remind them that, you know, we went through several years of drought where vegetation died. That vegetation is still up on the sides of these hills. What you're seeing is all the live fuel growth, and it's covering much of that dead fuel. There's no question in our minds that, you know, summer will be here. The fuels will dry. We are having a little bit later fire season here, grass fire season in Orange County, but there's no question in my mind that we're going to be under, as we are every year, significant threat of wildfire here in not only Orange County, but all of Southern California. So while we're enjoying that we're having this slow start, we're not fooled by it either. This is serious business. In fact, what you're looking at are the hillsides that burnt back in 2020, and they've grown. The Silverado and the bonfire burned on these hills, and it's already grown. So when we have these large fires, even when we have these small fires, our initial attack, everybody you see behind us is involved in these fires. We may respond out of Orange County with our helicopters and our bulldozers and our hand crews and engines, but we're also getting help from CAL FIRE. We're also getting help. We share a border with the U.S. Forest Service, the Cleveland National Forest. We're working with our sheriff and his people. The sheriff has a helicopter that we involve in our fires. CHP is working with us. And God forbid we got to evacuate anything, then you're going to see all of law enforcement very busy working with us in unified command. So I'll end by saying thank you for being here. Please carry the message out to the public that not to let the green hillsides fool you. We do have a year-round fire season. I know we got a lot of rain, but we do have a year-round fire season here in the state of California and throughout the West. So do not be fooled. But I want to thank everybody. My good friend Joe Tyler, the chief of CAL FIRE, the director of CAL FIRE, Chief Gamboa, who's with the U.S. Forest Service here in California. One of my directors and board supervisor, Don Wagner, and everybody that's joined us here today. And with that, I'd like to introduce, again, CAL FIRE's Fire Chief and Director, Joe Tyler.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of Wildfire Preparedness Week, again here at Irvine Lake in Orange County. It is a beautiful day, and a beautiful day to see green, lush vegetation around us. But certainly, as Chief Fennessy just said, this lush green vegetation has dead material in it, and this material will dry further, and we will have a fire year. Now it's possible, due to the heavy rain and snow, that will be delayed. That perhaps initial attack fires will occur early in the grass. But somewhere across the state of California, including here in Orange County, we will come together as partners to assist the public in mitigating your emergency. I too want to take just a minute to thank the partners that are here, and there are so many that are not here, from the Orange County Fire Authority, the Orange County Sheriff, representative of the Orange County Board of Supervisors, the United States Forest Service, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, the California Conservation Corps, the California Military Department, the California Highway Patrol, and the Anaheim Fire Department are here with us today. Again, just a few of the people that take part across the state as part of the mutual aid system that our Cal OES partners will also talk about here in just a few minutes. And it's important to talk about not stakeholders, not cooperators, but to talk about partners and partnerships. And every one of these individuals representing their organizations are about that partnership. It's important that these partnerships are going to come together and continue to be together to create a more resilient California. This year's theme is meeting our mission through partnerships, and it can't be stressed enough that those at the local, state, federal, tribal level, fire safe councils, those who have formed Firewise communities, nonprofit organizations, grantees doing fuels work, innovators, and you, the public, are partners in preventing wildfires and making California more resilient. Firefighting is not enough in California to keep us safe, and Californians play a crucial role in that fire prevention effort in preparing for wildfire. California and the western states continue to be stricken by wildfires, even though we've had a moderated 2 years in 2022 and 2023. And we recognize when we look at a local drought monitor right now that this time last year, 32% of the state was in a drought. This year, it is 2%, but that will change. So far across the state, and this is just for CAL FIRE's response, in addition, our local government partners, our federal partners are responding to emergencies every day across the state. But CAL FIRE has responded to over 195,000 emergencies so far this year. Just in the last week, there has been just since the beginning of 2024, there has been 576 wildfires burning over 2,500 acres, and 105 of those fires occurred just in this last week alone. It is going to take unprecedented action by everybody to turn this corner, to change the fire resilience in California. And there are historic investments that are going into forest management initiatives and state-of-the-art fire equipment that you see from our organizations, just a small glimpse behind us. Whether it is a CH-47 sitting behind us, whether it is new hand crews, whether it is a new Black Hawk helicopter, they are positioned across the state. Statewide, over $1 billion, I said 1 billion yesterday in error, over $1 billion in forest health and fire prevention grants have been issued to grantees in previous years to help us get there. The administration has invested over $2.8 billion in resilience and fire suppression equipment as well. And we recognize again that there has been a reduction in the acreage across the state in the last 2 years, and a 93% over the last 2 years reduction in the number of structures destroyed. That is not just the work of Mother Nature, that is not just the work of our partners, but that is you, the public, who are working to create your defensible space, that are working to harden your home, and to make your property more resilient. Technology continues to play a bigger role than ever in wildfire prevention, detection, and reporting every year. A couple of examples. CAL FIRE and other partners have entered into agreement with UC San Diego as part of Alert California to place over 1,065 cameras across the state. They are adding 163 more in 2024. And they have been able, through artificial intelligence, to report more than 180 new emergencies before the first 911 caller. Here in Orange County piloted our FIRES program that is able to provide sensor coverage to give real-time or near real-time sensor data around the progress and the perimeter of wildland fires and other emergencies across the state. It allows it to go into modeling systems to be able to evaluate the direction and spread of fire. And thank you, Chief Hennessy, for piloting that. Now, you have heard for quite some time that CAL FIRE has entered into an agreement with the Department of Defense to obtain 7 C-130s. And though we don't have one here today, it would take way more space to land that than here. In the beginning of January of 2024, the National Defense Authorization Act transferred title of those 7 C-130s to the state of California. This process started in 2013. And in 2024, we have transferred title. And just in the first 5 months, the retardant delivery systems are being put in place, and we expect the first air tanker to be in flight testing in the middle of this year and operational late this year, with all 5 of those C-130s being operational in 2025. The closest CAL FIRE C-130 will be placed at Ramona Air Tech Base in San Diego. We have received 13 of the 16 Black Hawk helicopters. That is transitioning out our UH-1H Super Huey helicopter fleet. We will have 16, 3 are in Colorado and will be shortly delivered. The importance of that is working on the efforts that our partners here in Southern California have taken already to fly 24 hours a day under night vision goggles. CAL FIRE will also staff 5 of its bases 24 hours a day in 2024. And in addition to that, we will add 24 additional exclusive use aircraft across the state of California, and 5 of those helicopters will fly 24 hours a day as well. As part of an agreement with Orange County Fire Authority, working with investor-owned utilities and Colson Aviation, the CH-47 sitting behind us is also capable, one of 3 that are capable of flying 24 hours a day as well. So moving technology into the next generation of flying at night will help reduce the spread of wildfire. Moving into fuel reduction, there have been 730 projects last year that have had fuels reduction effort placed on them, in addition to mechanical and hand thinning and prescribed fire, where we, with our grantees, are finishing and completing well over 100,000 acres a year of fuels reduction. And you'll hear from our federal partners of many more hundreds of thousands of acres that they are doing as well. These projects leverage partnerships across landowner jurisdictions that will have a bigger impact on community resilience. And it's important to understand the traditional ecological knowledges and practices of our tribal partners. So CAL FIRE has hired and is introducing our first Deputy Director of Tribal Affairs as part of the executive team to advise the department and our unit chiefs on bettering our relationships with our tribal partners, including providing our tribal partners $19 million in tribal resilience grants here just recently. But really it returns to you, the public, who is the critical partner in making California resilient. It's going to take you to help all of us reduce the threat of wildfire. So what can you do to help? Contribute to neighborhood safety. Help your disabled neighbors. Help your elderly neighbors in providing defensible space and hardening their homes. Consider joining a fire safe council. Consider being part of a FireWise community to be able to assess risk in front of a future wildland fire. Maintain your defensible space, harden your home, and you can do so with low-cost retrofits that are available to you. Have an evacuation plan. Have 2 routes of exit. And make sure that you are listening to your local law enforcement and your state law enforcement officers, as well as firefighters, when they ask you to evacuate, when they tell you to evacuate. Watch for real-time fire updates and obtain fire information about grant opportunities and low-cost home retrofits by going to CAL FIRE's website at fire.ca.gov. And finally, to prepare yourself for the future fire season or the peak of the fire season in this fire year that is to come, you can prepare yourself for wildfire by going to readyforwildfire.org. www.sheriffbarnes.org. It's now my honor to introduce the Sheriff of Orange County, Don Barnes.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to be here today. And I'm going to probably restate a couple of things, but first and foremost, what makes this county so unique, what makes us, I think, better than most in how we respond to some critical incidents, many of which that we have seen over the last several decades, is the relationships that we have forged with our brothers and sisters in the Orange County Fire Authority and the state and the CHP to be able to respond accordingly. Wildfires have become a commonplace within our community. I've been doing this for 35 years, and in 1994 we saw the first wildfire really break out in the wildland interface outside Laguna Beach. Some of us may remember that. That really appeared to be an outlier. Since those years going forward, we've seen numerous fires. In fact, some years we've seen multiple fires, and we should anticipate that this is going to be an ongoing threat and concern for our residents. So first and foremost, it's the partnerships that we have, but those partnerships also include the communities we serve. We need you to work with us to help keep you safe and to keep the first responders safe as they're going in to fight these fires, whether it's law or fire authority, to go into these spaces. So first and foremost, it's been mentioned, but I'm going to hit it a couple of times real quick. Prevention is key. What prevention means is don't do things that violate the tenets of keeping your home safe if a fire were to erupt. Keeping plants out of that wildland interface abatement area at the back of your house. A tree may look really good there when you're in a non-fire situation, but that becomes fuel that's abutted up to your residence that might ignite your home. So follow the tenets of good safety and not great risk by doing things that might seem okay in a non-risk situation, but will create risk going forward. Most importantly, preparation. And preparation means having a plan. And you don't have to have everything ready to go, but you should have a plan on how you're going to get things ready to go. In our profession, we call it a go bag. When we are called into action, immediately get ready, and within minutes we're activated. You should know what you need to put in your go bag, what you need to vacate your home with if asked to evacuate, and follow the evacuation orders of law enforcement if asked to do so. That includes medication, it includes clothing, it includes what to do with your pets, it includes what to do with large animals if you have horses, where to take them so that you can evacuate the area and make it safe for first responders to focus on the fire and not focus on the life-saving efforts if you choose not to leave. That just deters resources off the primary mission of firefighting. Also, follow the evacuation orders. That's probably the most important part. When we ask you to leave, please follow our directives and go to the safe place that we've allowed for you. In your plan, you should have a reunification strategy. If you're separated from your loved ones, where are you going to go to reunite? Whether it's a high school or somewhere else, or a family member's home that's not in the risk area that you could go to and reunite there. It's very important. What we don't want you to do is try to reunite back at the home that's in the place of risk. Simply put, when we look at Orange County, it's one of the safest communities in the nation for crime, and that's because we have great cooperation with our residents. We need you to be co-producers of our safety when it comes to firefighting and risk associated with wildland fires, so that you don't create unnecessary risk for first responders. Most importantly, if you want information, most people want to be informed during critical incidents. In Orange County, the place to get timely, accurate, vetted information is Alert OC. You can find information on Alert OC at www.alertoc.gov. That's www.alertoc.gov. They will not send you marketing material. They will not bother you unnecessarily. But in the event of a critical incident, you will get timely, accurate, vetted information on how to respond and where to go. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Thank you, my brothers and sisters here today. I'd like to introduce the Chair of the Board of Supervisors, the Chairman for the 3rd District, which we are in right now, Chairman Don Wagner.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Sheriff Barnes, for the introduction, and to CAL FIRE for the opportunity to be here. I am Don Wagner, Chairman of the Orange County Board of Supervisors. As Chief Hennessy said, I serve on the Board of Directors of Orange County Fire Authority, but most importantly, and the reason I'm here today, is because this is my district. We are the perhaps most rural, certainly the prettiest, or as Chief Hennessy would say, the one most laden with fuel in all of Orange County. But the truth is, on behalf of all of my colleagues, I am here to say thank you to the partners that are coming out to support us, to the folks that are here on the ground 24/7 supporting us, and to the public. The purpose of a day like today, indeed of the entire preparedness week, is to get the word out to the people of Orange County about the things they can do to protect themselves. So I echo the thanks to all of the partners who are lined up behind us and who have pitched in so many times over so many years to save so many lives and property. We can't thank you enough. CAL FIRE, thank you. Chief Tyler for coming down here. We truly, truly value the partnership. We know that you bring an enormous amount of expertise. You bring an enormous amount of equipment. Look at the stuff that's outlined behind us. You bring men and women willing to rush into the danger, and for that we are eternally grateful. And you bring the message. You bring the message that it's not just a partnership with the folks that are here, but as was said, a partnership with the public. The first line of defense is you in your home. The first line of defense is you preparing the evacuation plan. Worst comes to worst, you can get out, you can get your family out, you can get your animals out. If you're living back here with horses or whatever, you are the first line of defense. And so thank you to CAL FIRE and to all of our partners for making this message available to the people of Orange County. And the last thing I would want to say, and the sheriff touched on this, when we're talking about the relationship between the public and the first responders, keep in mind that the sheriff, the fire authority, they never want to order an evacuation. That is only something that happens when it's time. And so the sooner you respond out in the public, if there's an evacuation order, it does not come lightly. The sooner you respond, the easier it is for you to get out. You not only save your own lives, but you make it easier for the men and women who are rushing to the danger to get in and do the critical job they need to do, and maybe you're even saving their lives as well. So evacuation orders don't come lightly. Please pay attention to them. Realize that you're the first line of defense. Thank you to all of our partners here who have such a wonderful message. Couldn't be happier to be here, and let's have a great fire season this year, everybody. Let me introduce next one of those valuable partners. They've been with us for ages. It is the federal government. It is the the United States Forest Service. And we have with us Jaime Gamboa from the Forest Service to talk to you for just a minute. Thank you all for coming out today.
Good afternoon. Again, as just mentioned, my name is Jaime Gamboa. I'm the Director for Fire and Aviation Management in the Pacific Southwest region of the U.S. Forest Service. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the U.S. Forest Service to celebrate the 2024 Wildfire Preparedness Week with our partners. I want to begin by thanking all of our partners who work with us throughout the year in wildfire prevention, preparedness, and response. No one agency can do this alone. We're all in it together, and we're all working toward common goals. You hear us say this every year. That's because this is how we must and want to operate. I want to especially thank all of our firefighters who are on the front lines for their sacrifices they make in committing a good part of the year away from their families fighting wildfires. So let's talk preparedness, being proactive instead of reactive. We're focusing on reducing fuels and restoring forest health at a greater scale and faster pace than ever before. We're getting this work done under the Forest Service's Wildfire Crisis Strategy, under which California has received close to $1 billion over the last couple of years, and under the Governor's Wildfire Task Force. In February of this year, the U.S. Forest Service launched the Collaboration Wildfire Risk Reduction Program, also known as the CWRRP, to further enhance work associated with the WCS and promote new partnerships. This means an additional $100 million investment to support wildfire risk reduction projects across all national forest lands. Last year, with wildfires generally moderate by late precipitation, we were able to take advantage of favorable conditions to complete approximately 320,000 acres of hazardous fuels reduction, and this year we're already on a path for increasing those acres. This fuels work under the WCS is being planned and implemented in partnership with neighboring local, tribal, state, and other federal agencies. We work with these partners to prioritize hazardous fuels reduction around communities and other infrastructure across the state. We continue to support our local and tribal partners with funding through the California Wildfire Defense Grants, giving millions of dollars for support in the development and implementation of community wildfire protection plans across the state and in Hawaii, where wildfire preparedness and community protection are on the forefront of everyone's minds after the heartbreaking events of last year. We continue to work with our interagency partners and our stakeholders in private industry to improve our ability to respond together. Wildfires don't stop at the boundaries of national forests, so neither should our field breaks. Last year, we signed an agreement with the National Alliance of Forest Owners to increase our capability and fight wildfires in areas of adjacent ownership with National Forest System lands during initial attack. This year, the Forest Service signed a memorandum of understanding to improve coordination with the National Alliance of Forest Owners on cross-boundary field breaks. So looking ahead, much of California, 2024 has been another above-average precip year, and we won't get complacent. Fire leaders in the field are meeting with local partners in CAL FIRE, other federal agencies, state agencies to prepare for wildfire response. New firefighters continue to be brought in and trained, along with our seasoned firefighting workforce. And a big celebration here recently, in Northern California, we announced the completion of work on phase 1 of the Reading Air Tanker Base, making improvements that will ultimately double our previous capacity for loading retardant by allowing us to load 5 aircraft simultaneously. This $28 million project will directly benefit fire suppression efforts across the western United States. And this is just the beginning. Further phases of the project will include replacing the original hangar and co-locating all partners in one state-of-the-art facility. We're also continuing to work closely with our tribal partners to help restore cultural burning practices on ancestral lands. Lastly, and most importantly, we're celebrating Smokey Bear's 80th birthday this year. For 80 years, Smokey Bear has been a treasured symbol for preventing unwatered fire across America by teaching kids not to play with matches and adults to use caution when towing or mowing. Smokey's message is as relevant and urgent today as it was then. Even now, 85% of fires in California are started by people, often during the hottest, driest parts of the year when they are most difficult to control. Working together, we can prevent and be prepared for wildfires. It's my honor to introduce Greg McEwen, Assistant Chief with California Office of Emergency Services.
Good afternoon. Thank you to CAL FIRE for hosting us today. Thank you very much. Happy to be here. And my name is Greg McEwen. I'm an Assistant Chief with the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services Fire and Rescue Division. And just having been on fires in this area just really brings back a lot of memories. So just happy to be here today. And as another wildfire season approaches, we're proud to stand with our local government, our state partners, and our federal partners as trying to keep, it's vital to keep California communities safe. In early 2024, our state experienced another round of heavy rain, snowfall, and severe flooding. It led to 2 federal declared disasters. We also know that despite, as Chief Fennessy said, despite the rain and snow from these storms, we must be prepared for wildfire because there is still a lot of dead vegetation out there. Through the California Fire and Rescue Mutual Aid System, we deploy a fleet of more than 270 fire engines, staffed by our local government partners, whenever they are needed across the state. Our Cal OES Law Branch works with our local government law enforcement partners as well to ensure Californians are safely evacuated. As we recognize Wildfire Preparedness Week, it's an important reminder to all Californians to make plans before an emergency happens. As you've heard prior from our leadership here, we want you to sign up for your local alerts with your county. Obviously, Alert OC here in Orange County, but if you're outside Orange County, your local county. Make a plan to protect your loved ones. What are you going to do when wildfire hits? Pack a go bag, as was said earlier, and essential items for you and your family should you need them. And lastly, learn multiple routes out of your neighborhood because your route may be cut off and you may have fire engines coming in as well. So be very careful as you leave. Always heed the warnings of the evacuation orders. Cal OES will continue to work with our local, state, and federal partners to ensure California stays safe during another fire season. Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce Brigadier General Pauletti.
Good afternoon. The California Military Department has a long tradition of supporting our partners during times of disaster. It is only recently that we have started taking more of a role in prevention. Through a partnership with the U.S. Forest Service, our FireGuard program uses real-time geospatial data to identify fires at their inception. That allows us to notify local fire departments, U.S. Forest Service, and CAL FIRE so they have the fastest response possible. Our Task Force Rattlesnake is a full-time, almost 500 soldier and airman force that augments CAL FIRE with 14 CAL FIRE trained Type 1 fire crews and works under the direction of CAL FIRE to do fuels reduction in the off-season. We also stand ready, as always, to supply CAL FIRE with additional Type 2 fire crews, and through the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, we can provide aviation, military police, engineers, logistics, chemical biological detection, and mass decontamination. I'm very proud to say that the California Military Department lives up to the National Guard's logo of always ready, always there, to be there for Californians in their time of need. I will be followed by Mr. J.P. Patton from the California Conservation Corps.
Good afternoon. We are all probably acutely aware of the accelerating effects of climate change on the western states, especially in California, that we're in for a summer that is hotter, drier, and potentially more prone to wildfires than many of us have experienced before, and it is critical that we continuously prepare for these conditions. One of the most effective tactics to combat wildfires is the direct, on-the-ground action, and this is where the California Conservation Corps shines. No doubt, aerial resources like planes, helicopters, and large ground assets like dozers are awesome and play a crucial role in controlling wildfires. But the groundwork done by hand crews is equally important. Our crews tirelessly dig fire breaks and lay water lines in areas that machinery can't access. So I'm proud to highlight the dedication of the young adults of the California Conservation Corps, many of whom will be facing their first wildfire season. It is their enthusiasm, their instinct to serve, and commitment to protect our communities that is profound. Young adult Californians, some college grads, some still waiting to finish their high school diploma, enroll in the CCC for a paid year of training and service, using this time as a stepping stone to frontline firefighting careers. And right now, more than 400 Corps members are completing their basic training, ready to answer the call and to respond to the next wildfire. And I couldn't be more prouder to share that the CCC is witnessing a remarkable increase in female recruits, all demonstrating their ability to excel in the fire services. Now you can find these dedicated individuals across California with 28 CCC CAL FIRE crews operating out of 14 campuses in close collaboration with CAL FIRE. 2 crews are in Pomona and Los Pinos, found in the Cleveland National Forest not too far from here. Today's Corps members are tomorrow's firefighters. In fact, over the past 3 years, more than 500 CCC Corps members were hired and joined the ranks of CAL FIRE. That's 500 and counting. The work done by these crews also supports other key pillars of Governor Gavin Newsom's climate commitments. When not engaged in direct firefighting, these crews are on the front lines restoring our forests, along with reducing the amount of fire fuels and increasing defensible space. This intensive work prepares our Corps members for the physical and mental rigors of firefighting and is pivotal in meeting the state's historic climate goals. So putting it all together, our great partnership with CAL FIRE is positioning the state of California to be even more vigilant in protecting our natural resources, our forests, and our communities, while at the same time developing meaningful careers for young Californians. No matter the challenges the season may present, the CCC fire crews will be ready to respond. Thank you, and please stay safe. And with that, I'd like to introduce Assistant Chief Mike Harris with the Borders Division of the California Highway Patrol.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to extend my gratitude to our public safety departments at CAL FIRE for having us. Thank you. The CHP furthers our commitment to the communities we serve by partnering with CAL FIRE as members of the Incident Management Teams, IMTs. Since 2014, we have been committed to the team partnership by embedding law enforcement officers with each of the 6 IMTs across the state. This shared vision with CAL FIRE has resulted in improved operational efficiency and effective communication with the stakeholders and allied agencies to effectively mitigate these disasters. Today's event exemplifies the collaboration of public safety officials striving towards a common goal, safeguarding life and property throughout California. Public safety stands as the CHP's foremost priority. Rest assured, every decision made by our officers in the field aims to ensure your safety and prompt return home. Our training equips us to manage such emergencies, urging the public to remain calm and to be mindful of emergency personnel's instructions. During wildfires, CHP officers will aid in evacuations, oversee road closures, manage traffic, patrol affected zones, and secure evacuated properties. Following the guidance of CHP personnel on site is crucial. They will designate evacuation areas and routes based on factors such as fire location, behavior, wind patterns, terrain, and other variables. Wildfires are unpredictable and can move quickly. When evacuation becomes necessary, having a plan in place for your family and pets is very important, as stated earlier this afternoon. Please familiarize yourself with evacuation routes and accessible roads, establish a meeting point for your family, and ensure your vehicle has ample fuel for reaching a safe destination. These are key steps in preparedness. In the face of imminent wildfire danger, don't wait for an evacuation order. If you sense peril, evacuate immediately. Early departure eases traffic congestion, affording more time to reach your destination safely. As evacuation orders begin to lift in certain areas, stay vigilant for updates from local authorities. We understand you are eager to return home. Please adhere to clearance directives and exercise caution while driving. There may still be emergency crews working and road restrictions in place. Stay alert, show consideration, and avoid unnecessary risk. Understand we are very, very reluctant to close down major arteries that connect our various counties and cities throughout Orange County and Southern California. But if we do so, oftentimes it's to allow large apparatus and large-scale personnel resources to be moved from one area to another promptly, efficiently, and safely. So we would respectfully request that you're patient and you allow us to conduct our business in safety. Well, the hope is that we do not have to face the threat of wildfire here in this community. Preparedness remains our strongest defense for ensuring the safety of you and your loved ones. And on that note, I'm going to introduce Isaac Sanchez, Chief of CAL FIRE.
This concludes the prepared statements portion of our press conference, and we'd like to go ahead and use this opportunity to open it up to any questions that the media may have for us today. Okay, since we have no questions, we'll go ahead and call this press conference complete. I would like to remind the public that for information on any fires that have reached 10 acres or more that CAL FIRE is responsible for, they can find information on our incidents map located at fire.ca.gov. And for tips on how to prepare yourselves, your families, and of course your homes for the threat of wildfire, please visit readyforwildfire.org. Thank you.